Hello everyone. This is a follow-up video to the previous one I made regarding the coronavirus situation. Several weeks have passed. The situation in Wuhan and in China in general has, let's say, stabilized and gotten much better. However, the situation in Europe got way worse, and now also in the US it's very bad. It's taking its course as it did in China, and the measures of isolation and social distancing will help to slow it down and to reduce the peak level, if you will, or the level of contamination and deaths. So what's happening is obviously a good thing in that regard. However, it's something that is basically unsustainable from an economic standpoint, because the world cannot stay shut indefinitely with no light at the end of the tunnel, because the media have not been playing a constructive role in talking more about the prospects of a cure and or a vaccine. Much work is being done behind the scenes on both fronts. There is a lot of, let's say, good prospects, but okay, nothing of concrete basis right now. However, when I say good prospects, certain drugs which are already approved for other applications seem to have shown good results in small controlled environments with, let's say, small clinical studies or small hospitalized studies. And these show promise. We need to keep an open mind, and we need the medical authorities to expedite things as best possible, not to let things drag in a normalized bureaucratic sense. That aside, the situation with the total lockdown, let's say, of countries and cities and states in the Western Hemisphere is unsustainable for the long run. We live and hope for a situation whereby in the coming short-lived weeks the curve will start to flatten and hopefully reverse. However, that aside, we still need to look ahead and understand how we're going to reopen society beyond these few weeks. And whichever way we look at it, life does need to go on. And the logical answer, I would say, currently is to say, to consider the statistics. Statistically, around about 80% of the population, we are told, of people who get the virus, we are told get it in a low state and recover from it, and often don't even realize or recognize that they got the coronavirus. They consider having gotten a small cold or a low flu, if you will, that came and went relatively quickly. So 80% of the cases are, or most of 80% of the cases are unrecorded, if you will. What is recorded is the 20%, which are the mild to extreme cases, and from those, the deaths are recorded. Which, if you take it over the 100% infection rate, real infection rate, it would actually be a much lower percentage of mortality. But if you take it from the 20% that's recorded, and it might be even less than 20% that's recorded, or it might be slightly more, irrespective, that percentage jumps to those, whatever it is, 3 or 4%. But over the total rate of infections, that 3 or 4% becomes less than 1%. And if you take it over the total population rate, it becomes way less as well. Anyway, the question is, if those most at risk are the ones in the higher age level, if you will, the older population, and those who have medical conditions, then why not isolate those and allow life to continue in large part to support those isolated as well, because if the vast majority of people will not have any major effect from this, and will suffer a mild cold and overcome it, then why not let them continue life? Put the elderly and those with medical conditions under basically house quarantine with all the medical support they need, or if not under house quarantine, they could be put in hospitals or even in makeshift medical facilities, including certain hotels. I mean, certain hotels could be shut down and converted into, let's say, medical care facilities where these elderly and those with medical conditions could be taken care of in a more controlled environment. And of course, the staff who are taking care of them would need to be vetted to make sure that they do not contract the virus and bring it into those facilities. That's the logical way. So why not follow it? Is really the question. Thank you.